What's up, friends? I'm Bam, and to my fellow DIYers, today I'm gonna talk about cooling and why your car is overheating and solution. So today I type a notes that we had to check. I'm gonna do my brother's car 1998 Corolla for a sample and how to make it overheat. So right now everything is working. First we're gonna check the car. I'm warming it up, and then to check if the cooling fan is working. So right now this car is working fine. There's no problem with it. There's no check engine. This one is well maintained. I'm gonna show you the car. I'm warming it up, so I'm gonna show you the temperature. The temperature is working fine. It's on the middle, so I'm gonna rev up the engine to open up your cooling fan. Once you're revving up, it increases the heat, so it's more easier to turn on the cooling fan. So now you see the cooling fan turn on because your thermostat open. So now what I'm gonna do, unplug the cooling fan. How important they are. They are very important to the cooling system. I'm gonna unplug the cooling fan, the radiator cooling fan. I'm gonna unplug and then start, and then you'll see the car gonna start to overheat. So I plug in my OBD2 scanner, so we know we are in exact temperature. It takes time to make them overheat, but what I'm doing right now is to rev the engine. So right now our temperature is 222 degrees. Since I disconnect the cooling fan, the radiator cooling fan, when the thermostat open, there's no cooling fan working to cool down the engine. So now you'll see all the graph. It's going down. It's going up. And then from the dashboard, you'll see the cooling temperature. They're going up. So meaning the thermostat open, but there's no cooling fan that is cooling the engine and the radiator at the same time. That's why you see this gauge is going up, because there's no cooling fan working. And then from my OBD2, we are earlier 222 degree. Now we are going up from 233. You see that it's closer to the red because I'm revving the engine to make it more hotter. That's why right now the car is overheating. Right now you see the car is overheating. So the solution for that, because I disconnect the cooling fan, I'm gonna reconnect the cooling fan connectors. Then I'm gonna start the car. Once I start the car, you'll see that this two cooling fan should turn on right away. gonna turn on the car, and then you'll see the gauge. It should go down to the balance one, to the regular temperature.
Connected.
And then from my OBD, we go all the way to 233, all the way down to 208. Because once the cooling fan turn on, the car start to cooling down. And then once we were on the temperature, once the thermostat close, meaning the car is already on the normal temperature. As you see from here, we are on the normal temperature again. We're not overheating again. So the cooling fan, the radiator cooling fan, are one of the most important part in the car. So all of the components are important, but if you're overheating without no check engine, you have to check the cooling fan first if it's working. So right now the cooling fan turned on again, and then from here it should drop the temperature. See that? It dropped because the cooling fan is trying to cool down the engine. So this is 1998. They are similar from 1998 to 2003. So it's not just for Corolla, but most of the car. So right now I show you when it's working normal and when I try to overheat them. So if your car is overheating but no check engine, you have to check this cooling fan if they're working. If they're not working, your car is gonna start to overheat. And then you should check if you have coolant. Never open this radiator hose when the car is warm or hot, because it will blow to your face. That's one of the safe tips I'm trying to give you guys. This is your radiator. This is your coolant radiator reservoir. Coolant hose, you have to check your upper radiator hose, lower radiator hose, and then some of your heater hose down there. Those are your heater hose. That's why you have heating. So next, right here, you have to check. Your service table. When did you service the thermostat? Because that's also control the overheating. If you see it down there, that's your cooling house, thermostat cooling house right here. And then next to that, there's a sensor, engine coolant temperature sensor. So now I'm gonna check all my notes, all the checklists, to see what other components that you need to check. So here on my laptop, I make a notes that need to check if your car is overheating. First, you have to check the coolant. So parts that need to be checked. So first, we have to check the water pump. Check the water pump if it's leaking. Check the water pump pulley. Next, you have to check the coolant hose. Check if it's the hose are leaking. Upper radiator hose, lower radiator hose, heater hose, coolant reservoir hose. Next is the serpentine belt. So the serpentine belt is like, driven your water pump if it's external, or if it's internal water pump that's driven by timing belt. So you have to check all the mileage. When did you service your car for major services like timing belt and stuff. And you have to check the tensioner, belt tensioner. You have to check if the belt is loose, missing belt, cracked belts. Next, you have to check your radiator. Check if it's leaking. Check for plastic because mostly those are the problem for old radiator they have. Check your heater core. Heater core is a mini radiator inside inside the dashboard or inside the car. That's why you have heater, because of the heater core. It circulate there. And then next is the thermostat. Thermostat. Check your service miles. Check for long warm up. So the long warm up, for example, if your car is on the cold start and then if it takes a long time to warm up, meaning the thermostat are stuck open, it's not holding pressure. If your car is overheating but no check engine, you have to check, like I said, cooling fan radiator if it's working. If it's working, you should not have overheating. But if the thermostat is not working, that's another problem for you. You have to check those two. Those are combination, radiator, cooling fan, and thermostat. Next is if you have check engine. Mostly, if your car is overheating, you have codes for engine coolant temperature sensor, because it will trigger the sensor if you don't have coolant. If you don't have coolant, you mostly have air in the system. So that being said, the car is gonna start overheat because the car has no coolant, and then the sensor is only cooling air. They're sensing air instead of fluids. What else? Let's see. So mostly that's it. You know, you have to check all of those items and stuff for your car, parts, fluids, because you know summer is coming in. Summer's just around the corner. So these are my safety tips, and then to save you some headaches, and then to save you some money to go to the shop, because mostly the shop are gonna charge you a lot. So these are the easiest step to check first before you go to the shop. If you know there's a problem, if you don't know how to fix it, go to the shop or go to YouTube or go to someone you know. So I hope this video will help you a lot. So please like and subscribe. Thank you.